Okay,
we're live.
interest rates. We are live. Interest rates. People are freaking out about interest rates. Do they fix them? It's a changing environment.
Good morning, Mark.
Hey, Billy, how are you?
Good, thanks for being here. Good morning.
Go hard.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Should you fix interest rates? It's a big one. Switching interest rates. It's almost playing like with a lifeline, I think. These things are not to be messed with until you've done it, and then you'll feel so much better about yourself.
Look, it's stressful, and I think a lot of people look over their shoulder. They look around. They go, "What's Uncle Mikey doing? What's my brother doing? What's everyone doing?" They sort of look around a lot, thinking and asking. So we've seen it lately where people are asking friends and family and clients are asking us, and by no way are we financial advisors, but it's just an interesting chat to see what everyone's up to at the moment because it's a big topic.
Yeah, I think it is a nice one to ask a friend, ask a neighbor, talk to your real estate agent about. Just advice in general is important, goes a long way. People definitely, look for it we get asked quite a lot.
And you know what? It's a big, particularly with fixed rates. You're betting against the house, and so people are often asking, when they're talking to friends and family, they're saying, "Look, we're worried about the rates that are going to potentially go up. Do we make a bet and fix at what rate, at how long?" It's a super interesting topic, but you've had some experience in the last week or two, Billy, with your rate stuff. What are you up to with your stuff?
Yeah, so I have bought a property recently and very new to the whole interest rates, mortgage thing. It's quite intimidating at the start, but with good people around you, they will offer advice, even advice from the bank, which might seem funny because they're the ones that are trying to, make the money off you at the end of the day. But I was down at St. George, Brookvale in the Warringah Mall the other day, and a very nice lady was being super open and honest. And she said, you've got to weigh up the difference between a home owner occupier rate and an investor rate.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a good place to start before you even think about where you're going to who you get your mortgage with and things like that. Talk to your broker. My broker had advised pretty early on which way we were going to do it, and so I sort of just followed his lead, which made sense. But if you're unsure, I think a good broker, will give you a pretty good idea from the get-go. And from there, once things are set up, I've been told to wait a cycle or two. So wait a couple of months for the first sort of deposit to come out and payment to go through. And then you can talk to the bank about just changing it up slightly to meet your needs.
And so for people that don't know, an owner-occupier, you're living in the property, there's one interest rate. An investor, which means you're renting out the property, there's another interest rate. About 5 years ago, banks decided to make a change on that and make a difference between both of them. They used to be the same rate, but now you're paying a little bit more, almost as much as a 0.5% interest rate more if it's going to be an investment property. Banks are, I guess they're saying that it's slightly more of a risk. Don't know how, because it's got a tenant paying rent, but they're saying it's slightly more of a risk. And because of that risk appetite, they're going to charge a little bit more on interest rate. So by you walking into the bank and making a decision because you're now living in it, I guess that worked well for you, did it? So it was a cheaper interest rate. What was the rate differences?
Yeah. So and they can only give you a quote on the spot, obviously, unless you're going to get the deal done there, which I didn't at the time. But to give you an idea, I was set up as a home investor rate at 2.84% with St. George. And like I said, just in the process of getting my first pay cycle through for the mortgage. And then I think mid-December, I'm going to look to change that. And it was roughly about 0.5%. And on my mortgage, it saved about $200 a month, which was really good.
And if you don't mind me saying, Billy, it was around sort of 500, 600,000 sort of dollars.
Yeah, borrowed 600 on the dot.
So just to make maths easy, for every sort of 500K, this is a difference of 200 a week. If it's $1 million, sorry, 200 a month. If it's $1 million, it's 400 a month. That's a hell of a lot of money for a mortgage holder in Sydney, Australia. It's a hell of a lot of money. So it's worth looking at. So we haven't even talked about fixed yet. We've just been talking about just before you even start with your negotiating of rates. Is it going to be investor only, or is it going to be owner occupied? And there is a saving by having it as owner occupied.
Yeah, I do believe you've got to have some proof that you're living there. So, that's not difficult to organize, just basic things like rates and making sure things are in your name at the property address. But I didn't think about that actually, Mark. If you times that, double it for a normal 2-bedroom apartment in our area, about $1 million for a good 2-bedroom around here. Double it again for an entry-level house, and maybe add a little bit more for something more substantial in our local area. That's huge savings. And that's we were talking a little bit about
$1 million,
cash flow. We were talking a little bit about cash flow and how it just makes the start possible, because it's not easy at the start. Like, you've got so many expenses, legal fees, strata water council, after adjustments, you've already got those in your calendar to be paying for the next quarter. So this was is going to be a big help.
Yeah, so, and like you said, multiplying it out for $2 million, that's $1,600. That's $1,600 in the course of a month, and then you multiply that over a year. Wow, that's big bucks. That is real big bucks. Now, fixed interest rates, guys, people, everyone's talking about at the moment. The banks are starting to push these rates up on fixed. Now, people look at fixed to see what they reckon the market's going to be doing, and then on the prospect of those fixed rates, so 3 years you can fix your same interest rate, 5 years you have your same interest rate. You were generally always paying more, but now you're paying even a lot more. So they're starting to creep up a little bit.
Yeah.
Any interest in fixed for you?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think it's securities. You sometimes pay for security, but I think sometimes it's nice, just like a little bit of insurance. It's just going to be the same for the start consistently. I was looking at 2 years fixed for when I make these changes. Just, I think for such a turbulent time with so much going on, it's nice to just have that consistency each month. There's X amount coming out. That's what I need to cover, because then it also leaves some money aside for all the other stuff. And I want to make a few changes as well, just minor renovation, touch it up a little bit. So, what are your thoughts?
You're looking at it. I've had some friends and family asking what I'm doing at the moment, and it's one of those things where I guess everyone sort of, in order to make a decision of whether they should do something, you sort of talk to people that I haven't got anything fixed, and my comment the other day was, when we're having a chat about it, I was saying, like, if you've got a risk appetite, a good risk appetite, you can probably sleep at night on a variable, or if you have your bum hanging out, or if there's lots of loans or whatever, and you got a good risk appetite, you can probably sleep with it. Whereas there's some people that are really, really stressed about their mortgage, and it's to put it to bed and to fix that interest rate is just so important to them. So I guess, first of all, it works out the profile of you, the type of person you are with risk and how that is on your appetite. Now, again, we're not giving out financial advice. We're just talking about what we do, what I do. I've got a pretty good risk appetite. I sleep well at night with risk, which with having a second or a third mortgage, it doesn't change my sleep. So basically, I'm okay with variable. And what my comment the other night was when I was talking to a friend about it was I said, you're betting against the house, you're betting against the bank. So at the end of the day, I reckon the bank's always going to win.
But what are you betting against? Like, and you know the rate's going to go up. Do you agree? Or over the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, do you think it's going to go up?
Yeah, but the banks are speculating. The banks aren't going to lose money on you. So they've got the smartest people in there factoring in these rates to make sure the bank still stays profitable. So so they're always going to charge more or a buffer to provide and cater for that. So really, you're stacking it against the bank, and I reckon they're always going to win and make a better profit out of you. So even sometimes what I've seen a lot of spooking SP.611 with fixed interest rates in the last couple of years, where the media comes out and says rates are going up, fixed rates are going up, fixed rates are going up, and there's a portion of the market that fixes. And the actual true variable rates didn't go up; they actually went the other way. But people were spooked into fixing their interest rates. So, for me, I completely understand people that want to fix, and I think it's a wonderful product. It's more like you said, Billy. It's more like an insurance product, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree. And even if you take out of the risk, maybe people will just choose based on where they're at financially with their decision. If they're a first home buyer like myself, maybe it makes a little bit more sense. If it's purely for an investment, you bought this unit or house for an investment, you might leave it on a variable rate. I think it depends a lot on the person, but I agree, Mark. It's a great product, and it's nice to have choice. Everyone loves choice.
Oh, it's great to have the choice. And also, some people prepay interest rates, interest for a year, so they can claim the tax deduction. And fixing for a year allows to do that because a designated rate, you fix it for that year, you pay the interest for that year, you claim it up front. So there's different reasons people are fixing, isn't there? Sometimes it's better for tax if they're doing it for a year. Sometimes they're adverse to risk. So fixing is nice, good product if you feel that way.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Any others?
I think that's it. It's not financial advice what we're giving, but we're just talking about what we're doing with our rates and what the observations that we're seeing, the type of people in the market. So, I think we know when you sort of talk around the traps, that's what everyone's got in common, eh?
I think so. But this all started for me with just walking into St. George to order a card, funny enough. So go in, have a chat with them. I think if you're with a normal major bank that has a customer face like CBA, NAB, all the big ones, the guys in store will be able to help you out, and they're really really helpful, very knowledgeable.
But you do the right thing. You ask the questions. So I think sometimes you've just got to ask the question to get the answers. So it all starts here.
That's it. All right.
Legend.
Have a good one. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Happy birthday, Lisa Novak.